Do you want to get excited about something? UFC 322, really interesting card coming up here this weekend. Two title fights, both of them with similar stories. So let's get into it and take our first look at honestly one of the most intriguing fight cards of the year presented by the Ultimate Fighting Championship as we get ready for UFC 322. Two championships on the line at UFC 322, and in both of them, the challengers are very familiar to the feeling of gold around their waist as they have relinquished belts to move up for an opportunity, and as the phrase would go, daring to be great in these fights. This is your UFC 322 Fight Night first look. Let's begin with the main event. In the welterweight division, it will be the newly crowned champion, Jack Della Maddalena, taking on Islam Makhachev. And for Della Maddalena, this is quite the introduction into championship life for him. But so much of the talk was, if this guy wins, then the other guy's gonna, then this is gonna be fight. But if Della Maddalena wins, then Makhachev wants his shot. Basically, the number one or number two pound for pound fighter in the world is calling his shot and moving up to 170 pounds because of who he thinks Della Maddalena is, or maybe more specifically, of who he thinks Della Maddalena isn't. And that provides, I think, quite a bit of bulletin board material for the young fighter who is really trying to make his name. And we had said going into that title fight, like, this is someone who has always felt like they were kind of on the cusp, but never really felt like the championship guy. And then they go out and win the belt. This is a time to establish this. It is kind of Leon Edwards-esque, where it does feel like he's holding the title so someone else can come win it. It's an opportunity to change that. You don't want to be a transitional champion, just a fly in the I was going to say a fly in the night. That's not at all the phrase, but you know what I mean. He wants everyone to just like, okay, let's pump the brakes on this Makhachev guy. I'm legit. It is strange, and we've had a few of these this year, but it is a weird place for the champion to have to come in and legitimize himself against the challenger. But it just so happens that dude that's going to be locked in the cage with you on Saturday night is at worst the number two pound for pound fighter in the world right now in Islam Makhachev. He moves up from 155 pounds in, again, a dare to be great move and trying to be a double champion in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And everyone believes that he can do it. He is so tough to deal with when it comes to the wrestling side of it. And just, like, he is smothering, he is strong, he's technically sound, all of it. He is an absolute machine. He ran through, it would be quite the thing. He ran through 155 pounds. He also has two wins over one of the greatest of all time at 145, and now he's looking to win the 170-pound title. It is quite the run, and it's weird because it feels like he hasn't been at this high level for a really, really long time. It has just been a dominant rise, and now he's here. But you get this, like the two belts, that's at least the ticket to get in line for greatest of all time talk. And I'm not saying Makhachev is like, move aside, GSP, here comes Islam Makhachev. That's not what I'm saying. But this at least invites you into the conversation if you can get that. So when we're talking about legacies, Della Maddalena is just trying to establish himself as a championship level fighter in the UFC. Makhachev is trying to enter the greatest of all time conversations here, and a dominant showing at UFC 17, UFC 322 at 170 pounds, that could get him in that spot. Bit of a different feel going into the women's title fight on Saturday night as Valentina Shevchenko defends her title against the former two-time strawweight champion, Zhang Weili. For Valentina Shevchenko, there is no legacy that needs defining. She is, at the very worst, the fourth best fighter in women's MMA history. You can make a very compelling case all the way up to basically number two. Amanda Nunes doing her thing. But this is one of the greatest of all time in Valentina Shevchenko. And so she is just adding more to her Hall of Fame GOAT resume if she can knock off another champion from another different weight class coming in and trying to take her crown away. So this is just building the resume for her. But it is a test of how much does she have left. when you get to a certain age, that becomes the question always. And we kind of wondered, how much did she have left after losing to Alexa Grasso? Well, she firmly established in the last fight that she has at least that much left, and she is still really, really good. But Zhang Weili is not anything to mess with. And it's interesting because she is a two-time champion and generally assumed that she is a very high-level fighter for a really long time. So this isn't like Della Maddalena, where it's fighting for legitimacy. But when we do talk about like best in the world right now and everything like that, the name doesn't come up a whole lot, specifically because Valentina Shevchenko exists. And so again, kind of like Makhachev, but just a step below, if Zhang Weili wants to enter a different stratosphere, a different tier, a different conversation for where she sits in the pecking order in the UFC, gotta win on Saturday night. So 2 title fights, but major legacy impacting storylines throughout the night. And I can't wait for some fisticuffs on Saturday night inside the Octagon. We're going to have UFC coverage throughout the week, doing it a little bit differently than we've done in the past, although the last couple we've just missed. So still going to do fighters to watch and still going to do the full fight breakdown on Friday, but the fighters to watch are going to be a little bit different in the rest of the fight week. Just a bit of a tweak to what you are used to here from Couch Potato Diary, as we just try to make things... make it so that it's not so easy for me to just have to miss a week with everything that gets going on. So please keep it locked here for all of your UFC 322 coverage.